A long time ago, in a tiny village surrounded by big mountains, there lived a 24-year-old man named Marco. Marco was always on the move, his mind was always racing. Different thoughts came and went throughout the day, and these thoughts made him feel uneasy and tired all the time. He was sad about his past and worried about the future. Because of these thoughts, his mind was always in turmoil. He couldn't feel calm, couldn't sleep well, and even forgot how to smile anymore. One day, Marco heard about a village far away in the hills. People said that a wise old man lived there. He used to be a famous doctor who helped people in the city with their minds. He taught them how to stay calm and find peace. He left the busy city life and moved to a quiet village near nature. Sometimes, he would give advice to visitors who came to see him. Marco became curious and hopeful. He decided that he had to go and meet that old man to see if he could help him feel better. He thought that maybe this wise man could help him find peace. After many days of a long and tiring journey, Marco finally reached the village in the hills. When he arrived, he saw a small house covered with greenery. On the porch of the house, the old man was sitting quietly with his eyes closed and looked very peaceful. Marco walked up to him and said softly, "Grandfather, my mind is very restless. I just can't stop thinking. I want peace in my heart. Can you help me?" The old man slowly opened his eyes and gave a calm smile. He said, "So, you're looking for peace? Okay, let's see. I will give you a small task." He took Marco to his little yard and then filled a glass with water, completely full to the top. The glass was so full that even a little shake would make the water spill. He gave the glass to Marco and said, "Walk from here to the edge of the village and then come back. But remember, you must not spill even one drop of water." Marco looked at him with surprise. The old man continued, "You must be very careful and think about what you're doing. If you spill the water, it's all over. You'll have to start again from scratch. But if you can make it back here without spilling even a single drop, I'll tell you the secret to finding peace." Marco thought about this for a moment and then started walking towards the edge of the village. As he walked, he couldn't help but think about how hard this task was going to be. He had to be careful not to spill the water, but at the same time, he had to move quickly so he could get back to the old man before he forgot what he was doing. Marco thought about all the times he had gotten frustrated and angry, and how he had always ended up feeling worse afterwards. He wondered if this task was some kind of test, and if he was ready to pass. Marco finally reached the edge of the village and turned around to start his way back. He carefully made his way through the streets, trying not to bump into anyone or anything. As he walked, he thought about all the things that had been bothering him, and how he had always tried to solve them on his own. He realized that maybe he didn't have to do everything by himself, and that sometimes it was okay to ask for help. As Marco approached the old man's house, he felt a sense of pride and accomplishment. He had made it back without spilling a single drop of water. The old man smiled at him and said, "Well done, my young friend. Now, let's talk about finding peace." But he wanted to do his best, so he accepted the challenge. He held the glass very carefully and started walking down the road. The road was quite narrow and had a lot of people on it. Some people were walking, some were running. Shopkeepers were calling out to their customers and dogs were barking loudly, but Marco didn't look around. His eyes stayed focused only on the glass. He walked slowly and carefully, one step at a time. People looked at him with surprise, but no one bothered him. They knew he was trying to learn something important. Finally, Marco got back to the old man and said, "Grandfather, I did it. I managed not to spill a single drop of water." The old man nodded and smiled. Then he asked, "That's good. But tell me, did you see the kids playing on the side of the road? Did you hear the dogs barking?" Marco looked quite surprised and said, "No, I didn't see or hear anything. I was only focusing on the glass." The old man smiled again and said gently, "That's the secret. Something that was inside you all the time but you didn't know about. Word count 719. When you stay focused in the present moment, there's no room for fear, confusion, or extra thoughts." At that point, Marco was only thinking about the water in his glass. His mind became completely calm. He wasn't dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. Slowly, Marco began to understand the true nature of peace. This was what he had been searching for. You don't find peace outside. It's already inside you when you live in the present moment. Marco nodded his head in understanding. He said softly, "Grandfather, I get it now. To feel calm, You have to stay in the present moment. That's when real peace sets in. The old man smiled again as the sun began to set. The last rays of light touched the ground. Birds were flying back to their nests, getting ready for the night. Marco started walking back home, but he wasn't the same restless young man. He had changed. He felt peaceful inside because he knew how to calm his mind. Marco had learned an important lesson from his grandfather. He realized that peace isn't something you find. It's something you feel when you're present in the moment. This understanding changed Marco's life. He was no longer worried about the future or sad about the past. He was at peace, and that's all that mattered. The old man's words had a profound impact on Marco. He saw the world in a different light. The beauty of nature, the simplicity of life, and the importance of being present in the moment all became clear to him. Marco's heart was filled with peace and gratitude. He knew that he would always cherish the lesson he learned from his grandfather. As Marco walked back home, he felt a sense of calm wash over him. He knew that he would carry this feeling with him always. He was no longer the same restless young man who was searching for peace. He had found it, and it was a beautiful feeling.